The answer is 5. But the question, how many titles change hands at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Dominion in Osaka Joe Hall? That's how many titles change hands. 5. 5 of them. 5 of the 6 title matches that had took place on this card had new champions. It's so damn hard to believe. I couldn't believe it, honestly. I knew that this card was going to be stellar, and I wrote a bunch of notes here, so forgive me if I go a little bit insane. And by the way, this is Real Honesty with John Ritland, but I'm super excited about this. I am also very tired, so I apologize if it's a bit of a mix of emotions, but this is one hell of an event. This is a landscape-changing event for New Japan. And I'm serious, especially with that main event. Sweet Jesus, that main event was wonderful. Lived right up to the hype that you would expect. I would say exceeded it because I didn't think that they were going to go with the switch. But for those of you that weren't able to watch it, I really hope that you guys are able to see it. Obviously, you weren't able to see it live. I hope that you guys are able to seek out and watch every single match, though I will say that you could skip the first one. Now, New Japan did a great job hyping up this event as far as, like, you know, showing like video packages and stuff like that, hyping up the card. Very, very good. It did have some typical tag matches for the first couple, and that was fine. But it started off with El Desperado and Kanemaru versus Roppongi 3K for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. It started off with a Roppongi 3K diving. There was a little bit of stuff here and there, but it ended really quickly. I think it was over in less than 10 minutes. And it was really, really short. And Desperado and Kanemaru got the victory. Whiskey ball to the head, you know, behind the referee's back. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Suzuki-gun, you know, retains via shenanigans. All right, but I'm a little bit surprised with after the great showing that Sho and Yo had individually in the Best of Super Juniors tournament that they went this route and that they had this happen. I was a little bit surprised they didn't go with a title switch here, especially since El Desperado may be feuding with Dragon Lee very soon in a mask versus mask match. Possibly. I mean, I'm not exactly sure when that's going to happen. I'm not sure if it's going to happen at the G1. I'm not sure if it's going to happen for New Japan. I'm not sure if it's going to happen for CMLL. I don't know. I'm excited for that feud, don't get me wrong, but I'm a little bit surprised Suzuki-gun did not lose the titles here. But, however, Suzuki-gun had a pretty good night overall, at least, you know, for the first couple matches. So yeah, not the best match to start off with, even though I was pretty excited. It was really, really quick. It was almost like they said, yeah, we have this match, there are these two good teams, we're just going to push it to the side. That's what it felt like. So maybe not the best start. But then we had Finlay and Juice Robinson versus Jay White, IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion Jay White, and Yoshihashi. It's good tag work, as you would expect with these guys. Finlay and Juice in particular really work well together. White is just tremendous. He is improving by leaps and bounds, has improved dramatically just this year alone with the match he had with Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom 12, where I get why some people may have not cared for it as much. They said, oh, maybe it wasn't, you know, the best match. Well, no, it's hard to be the best match on what is essentially the show of shows, the WrestleMania for New Japan, if you will, the Starrcade of New Japan, if you want to go more of the wrestling side of it. And Starrcade, yes, NWA, WCW Starrcade. I would actually go with that. I'm going to go with Starrcade. That's what it is. But White, you know, after White and Tanahashi had that match, White beat Kenny Omega in New Beginning in Sapporo, which was really, really good. That was a really, really good match. But the whole point is that White's had some good matches since then. His match with Hangman Page, A Strong Style Evolved, was a good match, but it was just put in the wrong slot on the card, right before Golden Lovers and the Young Bucks. But anyway, enough of that. Good tag work, really good stuff. It was a little bit short, but still well worked. And Juice pinned Jay White. That's the shocking thing. There were some spam finishers at the end, and then Pump Friction, 1, 2, 3. Holy crap. Juice Robinson managed to get the victory over the United States champion. So it's possible that we might get another three-way coming up, or Juice Robinson gets a shot at Jay White either at the G1 Climax Special on July 7th or sometime after that on our live show they're going to have in Japan. But I say having it at the G1 special would actually be a pretty good idea, especially since they're really still trying to, I think, sell out all the tickets for the Cow Palace. I think they're very close to a sellout. I'm not totally sure. Maybe somebody can let me know in the comments if they know about those facts. But I'm for a Juice Jay White feud, because this is what I think is going to happen. Juice is going to beat Jay White at some point, whether it's at the G1 special or otherwise. And this is going to have some fancy booking in it. I apologize for the length of this review in advance. But Juice is going to beat Jay White. And David Finlay's going to be celebrating with him and everything. You finally did. And then David Finlay's going to snap and he's going to turn on Juice Robinson, because Finlay's going to be upset that he was only able to beat Jay White once and then lose 10 straight matches. And then suddenly Juice is able to beat him in a tag match and then beat him for the U.S. title. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that could happen. And if Juice won the title, David Finlay's going to go heel, and then you have your next feud. And then Jay White could possibly go compete for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I don't know if he should be given the championship that soon, but who knows. But good tag match, and it built a nice U.S. title feud really well. Yano and Tomohiro Ishii versus Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. What do you expect you were going to get from this? Yano tried a lot of his comedy, and Zack Sabre Jr. just kept, beating him down with submissions, and Yano's antics and screaming was pretty funny. And then Ishii and Suzuki just battering the holy hell out of each other. It's a guy that's like, almost a granddad and a tank battling, and it's just insane. I mean, these two could level a city. It's like watching two monsters fight. I really can't wait to see a Suzuki Tomohiro Ishii full-fledged feud. That's going to be just great. I know they've been building it for a while, but anyway. Sabre Jr. is so good. Just tremendous with his submissions. So many hard shots just in this match in general, but especially with Suzuki and Ishii. Yano being Yano, doing his antics, but he tried for the low blow at one point. And Sabre Jr. trapped his hand in his, in between his legs, like with his knees, just locked his knees. And then beat Yano, got Yano to submit while Ishii was in a submission that Suzuki had also. So this is good stuff. You had a really, really nice, way there. Yano had to take the fall there. Of course he did. Sabre Jr. and Suzuki were going to lose to them. No offense against Ishii or Yano. Yano, who is actually a good wrestler, but he's been at this for a while, and comedy's kind of his thing. And then you had Ishii and Suzuki continue their battle, even get chairs and, try this whole thing, where they're, trying to lightsaber fight with chairs. And then, of course, Young Lions are trying to get the chair away from Suzuki, and then trying to get Suzuki away from the ring, and that's a bad idea, because he'll just take a Young Lion and swing him at another Young Lion. But I cannot wait for this feud. It's going to be tremendous. And then we go, probably the second weakest of the championship matches, and besides the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match to start off, Goto, Taichi, and Elgin, and never open weight title 3-way. Miho was back. That was nice. Christ, she's beautiful. She is. Sorry, she is. I sometimes forget Taichi's out there because when she's at ringside. That's how captivating she is. That's my opinion, of course. I'm sure that others in the comments would agree. And if you don't, that's perfectly fine. Goto showing impressive strength. Goto has done a very good job as never open weight champion since beating Minoru Suzuki at Wrestle Kingdom 12. I'm really happy with the fact that you guys, and I just want to take a moment to say, I'm really happy that anybody that has watched New Japan for a number of years been able to watch it live. Like, I've been able to go back and watch some of the stuff I missed. I'm really happy that you guys have been willing to accept me into the fandom and everything, and that I'm really happy to be a bigger fan, a growing fan of New Japan. Especially watching it live, because it's just really nice to see it emphasized on wrestling. So I do want to just take a moment to thank you guys. So, Goto with impressive strength. Elgin did do a nice dive. Elgin looked like he cut, I'd say, about 30 pounds. I'm not a fan of Michael Elgin at all. He's a creepy bastard. He bothers me. I just can't really stand the guy, but I won't deny that he does have some impressive ability in the ring. Hitting that dive and that kind of stuff, hitting a dive over the top, that's impressive for a man that size. Of course, what do you expect? You're going to get Taichi's antics. Of course, the trunk spot where he rips off the pants, and thankfully he wore the trunks underneath. You had some three-way spots, a nice Tower of Doom spot. And Taichi should have gone for the pin sooner. I actually would have been happy with Taichi winning. I would have been happier with Goto retaining, but I get why. I get why they went this route. But here's my problem. Michael Elgin getting the victory. Okay, now he had this impressive showing where he hit turnbuckle bomb after turnbuckle bomb, and then boom, pin Taichi. That upset Miho. You do not upset Miho. That is bad. Miho. I'm trying not to emphasize the whole part. I'm really trying to, say Miho. She's really, really, really beautiful. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. She's a really beautiful woman, though. You might as well toss an ever openweight title in the trash, though, with Michael Elgin as champion. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't like Elgin. I don't think this was a good move. I think Taichi should have won it. That's my opinion. And if they put Elgin in the Cow Palace show, if the crowd knows a lot of the stuff that's gone down with Elgin, they're going to freaking boo the shit out of him, as they should. Yeah, I just didn't agree with this. This was like one of the ones that bothered me. I get why it wasn't a terrible match, but I was not a fan of Elgin winning. And then we go to Sonata and Evil versus Young Bucks. This was good. IWGP Tag Team Championship match. And keep in mind, Marty Scurll and the Young Bucks are the never openweight 6-man tag champions. And they just won those recently by beating the Gorillas of Destiny. So that was pretty cool. Even if it was a bit shocking. Even if maybe I didn't agree with it, I was like, oh, okay, cool. All right, it stays within Bullet Club. Even though Bullet Club now is like the NWO, Wolfpack, and the LWO, and it's a little bit too divided. I know the LWO was technically not a part of the NWO, but you get my point. The Bucks were fighting from underneath a lot. I'm sure that Matt Jackson at this point the back is a work. But I was worried about Nick. Now, I'm not a fan of the Young Bucks. Honestly, I have put one of their matches, Strong Style Evolved match they have with the Golden Lovers, is on my matches of the year list. I'm still not the biggest fan of the Young Bucks, though I don't deny that they are good in the ring when they want to be, and they aren't just doing a whole bunch of damn high spots. They have added some psychology to their matches. I'm still not the biggest fan, but hey, can't deny they have a ton of fans, they do some great merch sales, and they really have been able to make fans gravitate towards their style of wrestling. For better or worse, they've gotten a lot of fans to tune in, so good for them. I was a little worried about Nick with that one spot where he went for the kick and hit it into the ring post. I was very, very worried that he had legit hurt his leg. I'm sure that he might have hurt it a little bit, but he was doing a really, really good job selling it. Evil and Sonata, super good team. Another Tower of Doom spot, second one already. In the subsequent matches. It was fast-paced, tons of near falls. The shocking thing was the more bang for your buck, and, like how they beat the Gorillas of Destiny recently for never openweight 6-man titles. 1, 2, 3, and they pin Evil and Sonata, and I'm just like, so suddenly, see, that was my problem with them. My problem wasn't with the Bucks winning, because Evil and Sonata had the titles for a while. They'd had them since, what, Wrestle Kingdom? Hadn't they had him since Wrestle Kingdom, if I'm right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they beat Killer Elite Squad for them. I didn't have a problem with the Young Bucks winning, but I have a problem with them being dual champions. Like, what are you going to do now? I don't know. I don't really necessarily care for that, but is what is. Maybe it'll lead to some good stories. I don't know. I didn't care for that decision since they already had titles. But maybe it'll lead to something good. Still, good enough tag match. Certainly shocking the Young Bucks won. And then we go to the last of the, specialty matches, like tag matches, before we get to the three big main events. Well, co-main event, and then main event. Because there's only one match goes on last. But you had Ray, Jushin Thunder Liger, and Tanahashi versus Cody. Cody Rhodes, by the way. I'm going to say Cody Rhodes because he should be fucking Cody Rhodes. WWE needs to stop with that bullshit. But anyway, Cody Rhodes, Hangman Page, and Marty Scurll. So it was like, 3 legends versus 3, I would say, up-and-coming guys, even though Cody's a pretty good veteran. Scurll is about the second as far as veterans. And then you got Hangman Page, who's coming along very nicely, actually. Hangman Page is a very good worker. Had a really good match with Kenny Omega, a little bit earlier this year. It was a good pace. They had nice teasing with the tags where Ray wanted to try out Scurll. then Liger wanted a shot at him. Tanahashi and Cody had a face-off. That was pretty cool. Hangman Page had a good showing in here. Everybody got a good chance to have their showings. And Ray and Liger and Tanahashi worked well together. Cody pinned Liger. Come on. He pinned him at a Ring of Honor show. I don't remember what the Ring of Honor show was. Forgive me. I haven't been able to keep up on enough of Ring of Honor. It's already hard enough to keep up on 2 wrestling promotions. Well, okay, 1 wrestling promotion, New Japan, and then in Sports Entertainment Pal promotion in WWE, even though they have some great wrestlers. Moving on. Cody pinned Liger like he did at Ring of Honor show. It was good stuff. I'm not against this. I think you could still do Ray Liger at some point. And you could do Ray versus Marty Scurll. You could do Tanahashi versus Cody. You could do Liger versus Scurll. You have a lot. You could do Ray versus Hangman Page at some point. There are ways to, do these feuds and have some really, really nice stuff. In fact, Cody versus Tanahashi on the at the Cow Palace show would be pretty cool. I don't know if they're going to go that route, but who knows? This was a fun match. It wasn't great, but it was a fun match. It was nice to see all these legends in the ring. And then we go to Ospreay versus Hiromu. Now, I'm going to admit, as you can obviously tell by looking at me and by listening, as much as I'm trying to have my energy, I have been up for about 24 hours. So I am dead tired. I do, and I really was enjoying this show. I really was. I was having to slap myself to stay awake, though, when matches weren't going on, because of how tired I was. But Hiromu versus Will Ospreay, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. This was damn good. Damn good. I don't know if it was show stealing, but it was really, really good. It was, because this was almost like this. What was it? Shout out to Ed Shroomeister. I don't know if you ever watched this. I don't know if you watch my videos. You're a cool guy, though. Do want to say that much. The guy knows his anime. The guy really knows his anime. Great guy, by the way. Great wrestling fan, great anime fan. He had tweeted out that basically this is like New Japan's version of SummerSlam, which actually is pretty accurate. This is a pretty big show for them, and it went nearly 5 hours. So you have with these matches, it's hard. If you have a not Wrestle Kingdom lineup, but something similar, you're going to have matches that are grand where it's okay, maybe it's not the match of the night. Maybe you could steal the show. I will say that Ospreay and Hiromu lived up to the hype. They did well. Ospreay kept Hiromu grounded. It started off hot at first. Great running dive off the stage. There was this elevated stage that people walk down, obviously, as that's how you would, walk down an elevated stage, the more you know. But Ospreay at one point, him and Hiromu, boom, 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 Ospreay runs back up the ramp and just runs at a full speed and jumps off and hits this impressive dive and almost does 2 rolls afterwards. Really, really impressive. Really nice hot start. But then after that, Ospreay kept Hiromu grounded and was a little more ground-based and stuff like that. And I like that because Ospreay needs to add a little more stuff like that to his arsenal. Otherwise, he will not probably be the most, mobile person by the age of 30. And I'm not trying to be dark. The guy is tremendous. I just don't want him to be unable to walk. There was a good series of big moves. Hiromu focused on Ospreay's neck, and really started to attack that neck. And eventually, after a bunch of moves, after Ospreay attempted a Stormbreaker, couldn't do it, after Hiromu had not been able to get the victory, he was finally able to hit the time bomb, 1, 2, 3. So in addition to winning the Best of Super Juniors just a few days before, and by the way, check out those reviews if you would like, especially the finals, really was super hyped up about that. Hiromu suddenly is IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion again. He is, I believe this is his 2nd reign, if I remember right, if I remember the announcer saying that correctly. And it was Kevin Kelly and Don Callis, by the way, on commentary. Good stuff, though. I prefer Kevin Kelly over Don Callis. Sometimes Don's heel persona to me is, whatever. But he knows it's wrestling. So yeah, time bomb for the win. Hiromu gets the victory. That was really good. That was really good. It may be on my matches of the year list. A couple of these matches will be on my match of the year list. And then we get to Tranquilo versus Alpha. So Jericho versus Naito. IWGP Intercontinental Championship match. This was great, and this was one of the many shocking moments they had. By the way, I didn't expect Hiromu to beat Ospreay. I figured maybe they would find a way to extend, and maybe now if Ospreay is actually dealing with neck injuries, they could find a way to give him a few weeks off and then have him show up at the, and wrestle at the G1 special, so he'd have nearly a month off, and I think that's a good idea. But back to Jericho and Naito. This was really good. You had Naito do his entrance. You had Jericho first do his entrance. Very Clockwork Orange, because he was going to give everybody a little taste of the ultra violence. If you do not know what a Clockwork Orange is, watch it. It's one of Stanley Kubrick's finest. If you don't know who Stanley Kubrick is, how do you not know who Stanley Kubrick is? Please watch some films. 2001, The Shining, various other, Full Metal Jacket. But A Clockwork Orange, not for everybody, but a damn good movie. Anyway, he had gear and a look very much reminiscent of the guys, and especially the main guy in A Clockwork Orange. Sorry, the name escapes me right now. Tired. But Jericho attacked Naito during his entrance, and the fight was on. You had a table break. He powerbombed Naito through a table. There was a spike DDT on a table. Later, Naito hit a pile driver on a table outside. It was just insane. This was an insane brawl. I think it took like 5 minutes before the bell to even ring. Naito was bleeding above his eye. It was like a collection of blood around his eye. So it was like above here, so it was bleeding into his eye. So that's just no good. It thankfully wasn't this eye, like on the shirt. One of my favorite shirts, by the way. But yeah, the Walls of Jericho twice. There was really, this is one of those matches where I can describe some of the spots where you're gonna have to go watch this. It was just really, really tremendous. Very good storytelling. Very good storytelling. This wasn't as good as his match versus Omega. It didn't have to be, though. It was a different style. Like, Naito and Omega are two totally different workers. But it was good stuff, and this almost seemed like Naito was like, oh, okay, I will take him seriously. And Naito got a little more aggressive and everything. But it almost seemed like Naito wasn't quite prepared for Jericho being as violent as he was. And Destino for 2 didn't work. A low blow soon after. I mean, like, it was like a little bit after. A low blow while the referee was distracted. Jericho kicks him. And then a second code breaker. 1, 2, 3. And I just want to transcribe my exact reaction. That's it. Well, it's not transcribing, it's showing you. I was legit shocked. I did not think that Jericho was going to win. Now, this does free up Naito to get a shot for the IWGP title later down the road, and it does give him a chance to go for revenge against Jericho, since he said he didn't want the Intercontinental title, but he may want revenge on Jericho. This was really, really shocking. I did not expect this. Did not expect this at all. Jericho then is beating up Naito a little bit more. He's got the title and he's celebrating everything, and then takes the belt off and starts whipping Naito, and then LIJ member Evil comes down. Evil, I guess now it makes sense as to why they lost the titles. I don't know why I didn't pick up on this sooner, but Evil comes down and kind of chases off Jericho, stares him down, takes Naito to the back. If they're going to give us Evil versus Jericho at the Cow Palace, if they do that, okay. Yeah, no, I'm down. If they want to give Evil the title, I'm for it. There's no reason for Jericho to be much more than a transitional champion at his age. And with all the shit he's doing, he doesn't need to hold the title that long. But if Evil gets a singles push out of it, sure, I'm all for it. I almost would have preferred Sonata. But hey, Evil's super over. So yeah, this is a really, really good match with a really shocking conclusion. I did not think that they were going to go with Jericho winning. I'm glad they did, because it was I must have had my mouth open, shocked at a number of times. There are some moments where I'm just like, oh, that's a bit much. But then we get to Okada Omega 4. 2 out of 3 falls, no time limit for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match. I'm going to do my best to describe some parts of this match, but you're going to have to watch it. If you like their other matches, especially their Wrestle Kingdom 11 match and their Dominion match last year, and even the G1 special that they had where Omega finally beat Okada and did it under 30 minutes. This measures up to, am I going to go crazy with a star rating? No, I'm not going to. I'm not Meltzer. Thankfully, because I'm not insane and that far up my own ass. Sorry, if you guys like Meltzer, that's great. I just don't. But they knew each other so well, so it's like you had tons of counters, and anytime finishers were hit, it was like sometimes out of nowhere where finishers were suddenly hit. There were tons of V-triggers. I lost track after like 50. I mean, really, I lost track after like 50 V-triggers. And I'm not knocking, I'm just saying, it's like, that's what happened. But the first fall had a lot of really, really good stuff, and forgive me just looking down here, but it's like, you had Okada go for a dive over the barricade, and you had Omega hit a V-trigger. Well, the way he hit it was supposed to be like it hit him in the chest, but Okada's holding his elbow, and I believe he's holding this elbow. And that was a bit, that was a bit haunting, because I was like, oh dear, oh God, please don't have Okada be injured. But yeah, it was good submissions, really good submissions by both guys, especially by Okada. They were great dives, good sequences, just what you would expect from an Okada-Omega match. And, you know, you had the apron spots. Stop with the goddamn apron spots, please. I know you guys are professionals, but for fuck's sake, especially after what happened to Ospreay. The guardrail injured Omega's ribs at one point when, like, you know, Okada threw him in there. Then you had the first fall was like 30 minutes. Suddenly, it's like after trying like the One Wing Angels kind of stuff and Rainmaker, other finishers, just other big moves. Suddenly, Okada gets a roll up, 1, 2, 3, and so he's up 1-0. And they had a 2-minute rest period between the first and second fall and the second and third fall, because of course this went to 3 falls. They aren't going to hype it otherwise. No company would ever have a match end after 2 straight falls. Ever. No. Ask me about that later in the comments if you want to know what I mean. I'm going to be more positive here. More of the same in the second fall. Okada. Omega was more desperate. I can talk. Omega was more desperate. Finally hit the One Wing Angel. 1, 2, 3. Second fall goes to Omega. I think it was between 15 and 20 minutes. And I think the third fall might have been the shortest one out of them, but that makes sense. They were all exhausted. They did hit some good moves, but I can only imagine the amount of punishment and pain and exhaustion these men put themselves through. Yes, they were able to get water during the 2-minute intervals and get ice packs and cool down a little bit, but still, there's no substitute for sleep. And I can only imagine what these guys, how much these guys are probably asleep right now. Honest to God, they're probably being taken back to their hotels in cars or something, and are probably already asleep. They might have passed out in the locker room, for God's sakes. I mean, the effort that these guys gave. There were so many finishers, though, but then, and I couldn't believe it, he hit a One Wing Angel and couldn't capitalize. Okada was out on his feet, even though he was completely out. He was like awake, but he was out. A little bit later, One Wing Angel, 1, 2, 3, and Omega finally does it. Finally wins the IWGP title. I was a little bit shocked by this. I thought they would have Okada win it. I thought they would have Okada continue his reign and maybe even go to like 900 days or close to 900 days. I can't say I'm against it, though. Because they told a good story, and Omega basically had to throw everything at him. Could they revisit this? Yes, but I don't think they should. Don't revisit this until 2020. And, of course, I guess afterward, let's just say this, with a hell of a match, go and watch it. I really can't do it justice by describing this stuff. But, yeah, it was a great match. It's on the matches of the year. Duh. Of course it has to be. Omega cuts a promo basically pretty much saying to the fans, you thought I was going to leave? he's not going to leave. Okay, good. He shouldn't leave. Him, the Bucks, a lot of people in New Japan should not leave and go to WWE. Go and grow your brand there, because with the way WWE is using a lot of talent, you don't want to do that. New Japan's going up like a rocket. It is. Like, I mean, it is doing really, really well. But, yeah, Omega cut a promo that was good, but, I mean, it was short because he was exhausted. So, I will say for this, even with the opening tag match being a bit goofy and Elgin winning the never open weight title, A- for the shock factor of a lot of titles changing hands. A-, especially for those top 3 matches. This was a damn good show, and you guys need to go and check it out. So anyway, thanks for putting up with my rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know what you think, A, of the review, but first, also, what did you think of Dominion? Do you think it measured up to last year's? Do you think that the G1 special is going to be really, really good? I will be reviewing that also, by the way. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Twitter link in the description. It's been real awesome with Jarmethlin. My New Japan, Dominion, and Osaka Joe Hall review, and I'm going to sleep. I will see you soon.